So at this time, after we do this review this movie, right? The only one that we have available on digital is going to be No Way Home. And of course, I'm talking about we're finally doing the Amazing Spider-Man 2 right after we did Amazing Spider-Man 1. And in the last one, you were talking about, you wanted to talk a lot of crap about this one already.
I don't want to talk a lot of crap. I like this one too. I like this one. Actually,
Okay.
I've enjoyed this one because it finishes up the story. It takes, because I mean, like after I got done with first Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, man, I gotta go find the second one. Which, like I said, it annoyed me because you see the first one on Disney Plus, and I had to go look for this one. I was like, what? Why?
Oh, you know, it's so funny when you say you had to go look. I looked everywhere too, like within Disney Plus.
Yeah.
This one I find out like, what the hell? How come this one's not on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Then I had to find out from my Amazon account, like, oh, good thing I bought this one. I remember buying it the first time so I could watch it the first time a few years ago. And then I thought recently when I looked at, like, when we did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right? I thought, I remember seeing this on there.
Well, maybe they pulled it. I don't know why they would have. I mean, I would have left it on there.
Because of Sony.
Yeah, Sony. We blame everything on Sony.
I blame everything on Sony and Warner Brothers, I guess. But you know what? We don't really blame everything on Sony because this is Columbia. It is Sony.
Pictures, but which is Sony.
I mean, like, hey, they don't have their streaming platform, okay? But I think, I want to say this is on Netflix.
Oh, really?
I think so, but I can't remember. Because I recently watched the
I'm not going to promote
Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and I thought Netflix. I saw this on there, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Netflix. On Netflix. But anyhow...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why wouldn't I was like, was that mean it was bad or what? But I watched it. I thought it was good. I thought it was great.
It was a good sequel.
It's a good sequel. It's not as good as the first one, but again, what he is. I'm trying to decide if I like it better than Spider-Man 2. But actually, to me, this comes across as Spider-Man 3. This is the Spider-Man 3.
This is the Spider-Man 3
for the Spider-Man.
Why do you say that?
Because it starts to feel like it's starting to fall apart. They're starting to lose control of the movies. There's too much going on. Too many. Oh, we're putting out too many threads, too many strings, too much this. Oh yeah, and we're also, by the way, after the first one, we thought we started to make this one, and then we go. Sony's like, hey, we're gonna make 4 movies now.
Oh.
So. Yeah, because as soon as I saw, that I was pretty much happy with it. I did think some things are silly, like Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn shows up. We know in the comic books they're friends, but all of a sudden it's like, hey, Norman, out of nowhere.
Hey, he just came back because his father was dying.
You was the best friends ever. We were the bestest friends. You remember we're the bestest friends? I was like, we saw you when you got left with your aunt and uncle. You're tiny. Really?
Yeah, but
anyways,
I don't think that's when he left though.
But I also thought it was cool because Chris Cooper was the Goblin.
Okay, so
Goblin, he was the.
Is that the actor's name?
Yeah, that's Chris Cooper.
I don't know who Chris Cooper is.
Oh, you don't know who Chris Cooper is?
I don't even see it on Wiki.
Yeah, they didn't even show you that it's him. Isn't that crazy? Didn't put his name in there or anything.
Like, what do you know him from? I was going to look him up while I was going to talk.
Let's see. What all was Cooper? Lonesome Dove.
Oh, not Chris Cooper.
Is it not Chris Cooper?
Who's the one who plays Harry? No, Chris Cooper, I know.
Oh.
He's in a lot of
I don't know this kid. Yeah, I don't know that kid either. But he looked like a young Leonardo DiCaprio in a way to me, but.
Oh, did he really? Oh, Dane DeHaan?
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yeah, but Chris Cooper, his mannerism, he's always playing this kind of person. And even in the Born Identity, like.
Sometimes.
Plays like an a-hole.
Well, in those movies, he's a completely different character if you watch The Lonesome Dove.
You know what? This guy who plays Harry Osborn is, I don't know, but I like the way that he plays a better Goblin than Willem Dafoe.
I guess in a way, I didn't like
the
way
he didn't have a lot of time as.
It was kind of like a last thing mentioned. It's like, oh, Sony called, put the Goblin in this movie. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, by the way, Sony
it does feel like
it does because you got a movie and all of a sudden he's just kind of like he's just thrown in there. To me, he's the Venom.
He's the Venom.
He is the Venom.
Funny.
Like he is,
I need to put that down. Green Goblin is the Venom of this movie.
It's the Venom. of this
Oh,
movie because he
that's
is.
funny.
He's just kind of a afterthought. I mean, it was cool. I mean, he did a good acting
Yeah,
job.
he did a good acting job. I like the way
Oh, I
that he
also
was
want to
in
point
this
out
one.
Felicity. What's her name?
Felicity
Felicity.
Jones?
Yeah, Felicity Jones. She's in this movie.
Oh, yes.
From Star Wars.
What?
Yeah, from she Star Wars. What's it? Rogue One.
Oh, that is her, Jane Erso.
Yeah, this is Jern Oso in here. But guess know who if they would have made another movie, which they were going to do, you know who Jern Oso would have been in this movie,
Oh,
right?
Black Cat, yeah. I know.
Okay, just making sure.
That's why I like what happened,
Everybody was going to be in this movie. Because they go up the Oscorp building and they got Dr. Octopus stuff.
Yep.
They got everybody.
The Rhino stuff,
like,
yeah.
The Rhino stuff. I'm like, so
the Sinister Six from this is basically
they basically
made by
already
Oscorp.
So yeah, Oscorp built a Sinister Six for what?
Just
isn't that kind of weird? Because you got to remember, in the real comic books, every villain gets their own origin story.
Yeah,
but not in this one.
No.
We already built an octopus. We already built all these characters. I'm like, that's just stupid.
I like that, like how emotional
that's
you get on this.
That is because Sony wanted to make a Sinister Six movie so bad. Yeah. They didn't even give a crap about setting it up. They're just gonna shoot it right like that, just out of nowhere.
So they trying to like do the WB way, like they just do Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and then they just go straight into the Justice League.
Yep, we're just gonna do it all right here. We're not gonna give anybody else
like that, right?
We're not gonna build up. Yeah, we're not gonna build up the Sinister Six. We're just gonna start it. It's like, so how did you get the Dr. Octopus suit? Oh, it was already made for me. They already created me in a lab.
What movie? What time? When did this come out? 2014. So that's when Disney's already working their stuff, and Sony's trying to catch up at the same time.
And Sony is stabbing themselves in the leg already.
This is what happened when they tried.
So they took a good movie and at the end started to tear it apart.
I like that. I know.
But
I can't get over.
Well, that's the problem. Because see, to me, it's like they kind of sidelined Jamie Foxx's Electro character
a little bit, even though he's
supposed they turned him to Sandman, dude. They turned him to Sandman, dude.
Oh,
he was so awesome. He starts off awesome, especially when he saves him. He goes, "Hey, man, I need you to stay here." His character's
my eyes and ears.
Everything is just his acting is good. He's like he's crazy. He's straight up nuts, dude.
So like what I said from the first one, right? Kevin Feige came and fixed all of this.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna jump on Kevin Feige train too hard because one day he's human. One day something gonna get messed up.
Yep. But
anyhow,
not that day.
Well, it sure wasn't when Sony's in charge. Let me tell you that one. I don't know who's at Sony.
Amy Pascal. You can see her name. It's Amy Pascal.
I would rather not.
Amy Pascal.
I don't normally invoke the devil, but
Amy pissed me off. Pascal.
She might show up again with another movie. So
she is just doing the stupid Spider-Verse thing.
Oh, okay.
They have to try to do that thing without Disney. Okay.
She is suffering heavily from Marvel envy.
Everybody is.
Well, everybody is, but the problem is she got a little part of Marvel, so she's trying to make Marvel the next generation. She's trying to do. She's probably got a secret lab. They got a secret lab at Sony. It's called Marvel.
They do. It's called Venom, and then it's called
Marvel.
Morbius,
and then Marvel,
it's called Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, she's like, so they're like, so who do you work for, Amy? She goes, I work for Marvel B. They're like, Marvel B. You work for Disney? She goes, no, Marvel B. It's a completely
different thing.
It's an alternate reality.
It's company. In association with Marvel.
Yeah. Sometimes Marvel come ask for my permission.
Yeah,
yes, because they have to, because you got Spider-Man. But other than that, yeah,
I know.
See, she's the alternate reality.
I wonder if one day, I wonder if it's going to happen in our lifetime that eventually Spider-Man will go back to Disney, without having to make movies I
can't see that because if it's even they think it's kind of Spider-Man, they're making it could be the most horrible villain that Spider-Man ever saw. It's gonna be a major character.
Yeah, it's gonna be a major character. I mean, I can't believe Kraven the Hunter has got his own movie.
Here's the funny thing is, there's gonna be a whole Sinister Six that doesn't even know who Spider-Man is. That's like, you're gonna be you're who we're gonna fight, even though we have never seen you or heard of you in our lives. Because think, you got a Venom, never seen Spider-Man, doesn't even exist in this universe. Now you got Kraven the Hunter, no Spider-Man. You got Morbius, no Spider-Man. So what? So what's these guys' beef with Spider-Man if they're gonna be the Sinister Six?
The way that you said that, right? Because you haven't seen Venom 2, is there's a mention of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Venom 2.
Hey, well, I bet you it's pretty stupid.
And Morbius is mentioned. They mentioned Spider-Man to Morbius by Toomes.
Okay, but he never fought Spider-Man. So why is he a villain?
So the Kraven the Hunter, right? Someone's gonna pop up from the MCU just in Kraven the Hunter.
Well, that could actually make sense because see, you could do the Kraven the Hunter movie because Kraven the Hunter actually goes after Spider-Man after hearing about him in New York City and thinks he could be a good trophy for him to go hunt.
Oh,
so you could do that. Oh, you could do that one because you got to remember he was this hunter. He's a big game hunter, travels the world, tries to kill all kinds of things. I mean, he gets tired of hunting animals. He's gonna go hunt men. And he goes, I just traveled to New York, and then I could hunt him down. So he could actually show up in the MCU Spider-Man now.
So what you're saying, it sounds like that Toomes will go with Morbius to recruit Kraven just to get Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
They could.
Oh, maybe
but normally, maybe you have but you got to have a character called the Chameleon, which I'm sure Sony was already go. Oh, we'll just show the Chameleon later, and we'll just say that the Chameleon's been talking to all these people, and he's been somebody else. Because see, the Chameleon, you know what the Chameleon is, right?
Yeah,
he's kind of like a Skrull.
Yeah,
Sony could claim any of the characters we've ever seen,
Spider-Man, in universe,
as was the Chameleon the whole time. Oh. But anyways, let's get back to Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Very good. It's got good actors in it. It's awesome. We get to see Stacy, Captain Stacy again as a ghost or a memory each time, which is cool, man. It's freaky. It is freaky. It's freaky. It is so freaky. I love that. I actually like that.
You know, I also like in this movie. It happened there's a scene in Chinatown because they go out for dim sum. They can eat dim sum at night. And where we all share, I cannot eat dim sum at night because I'm in Texas. Now, if you go to New York, you go back to my home country, Hong Kong, you can eat dim sum whenever you want, okay? But not like when I saw that, like, man, I'm so jealous. And then I heard Andrew Garfield speak Cantonese.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he did. That's his voice speaking Cantonese. He just said, like, you're welcome.
Oh, okay.
But that was still his voice saying it, though. It's just something very simple. Because he saved those people. Yeah. The Chinese guy and his, like, granddaughter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. They speak Cantonese, so I like it because in New York, a lot of people speak Cantonese.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry. There's some people in Texas that speak Cantonese. So it's
I'm right here.
I know. It's just to say, he's right in front of me. I'd speak Cantonese to you too, but you speak English, so why do I have to?
This one, it's kind of played right after the last one, right? Like because they graduated high school. This is what we
they
talked
graduated
about
high school.
They graduated high school,
but they were still in high school. Weren't they still in high school? No, they weren't. They were out. They were already out.
They had their graduation right in the beginning.
Yeah, the graduation at the beginning.
But before we even get to that part, right? This is a longer movie because they show more of Peter's dad in this one.
Yeah. Well, they got to tell another story because the story is now going to be part of the Goblin story.
Yes. Did you like that though? Like the involvement of Peter's dad, like a lot more this time. Like they explained why he left in the first one. Because in the first one, they never told you like
it didn't really make that. Left. I mean, I'm glad I'm glad they showed it, but it wasn't that big a deal to me.
Why?
I want to see Spider-Man. I want to see Spider-Man. His dad and his mom, as far as I'm concerned, have been gone and left. I didn't care.
But they also push the arc.
They want to make go. Well, this is why only Spider-Man could get bit, and he's the only one who could get powers, and nobody else could because his dad used his DNA. I was like, yeah, of course. That's usually how you tie up a story.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
It was okay. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad.
But then they also gave Aunt May a bigger part in this.
It's just I started getting annoyed with it though. You know, when it started showing.
But not even when they gave Aunt May a bigger part.
Oh, I was happy with that too. I was just started getting annoyed though when they kept showing that Ravencroft thing with all these other people in it. So, man, it was like every time you see it, it's like, oh, I'm watching Spider-Man. Oh, Sony. There's Sony getting in on a movie. Sony putting that
Because
stupid
they know,
crap
like,
in.
oh my God, they did the Avengers in 2012. We need to do
The
something
problem,
with
well,
the
the problem is
Spider-Man.
Sony can't tell a good story.
It's just the
The
writers they have,
Spider-Man's
right?
the
Like,
problem. You got already got like hundreds of comic books. You already got all kinds. Sony has access to all those the Spider-Man comic books ever written. Tons of good stories. But
tons.
no, they take the good story and they write and they go, hey, let's write in this part into it. And I'm sure the writers go, why would you write that into that?
So
It
let
doesn't
me
make
ask
any
you something.
sense.
Like, I mean, Spider-Man has a lot of good stuff, right? But
Yeah.
then a lot of the great stuff
Except for
is
when Peter
a
Parker was a
team up,
clone.
right? A
Some
lot of
team
great
ups, some
Spider-Man,
team
yeah.
ups are good.
Some teams ups are really good. Like the
But
only thing Spider-Man I like to stand alone by himself is Venom, and then they messed that up.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
I mean the movie was good. It's just I just like I mean, like I said, they decided to make 3 and 4. They're supposed to make 3 and 4, and of course, you said Marvel come along and they quit and they go, "We'll just go ahead and do what Marvel wants to do and get some money."
Yep.
And that's fine, and that kind of cheated Andrew Garfield out of being the next
It
Spider-Man.
did, yeah.
Because I would have liked to see where it goes too, but the problem is with the way this movie ends. Well, not the very ending, but when I see all that stuff that we've already engineered all of his enemies already in this movie, instead of letting them just slowly crop up like you should,
Yeah.
I thought 3 is gonna suck. I mean,
I like
and
that.
I should, and I
How
really
you
should.
jump to the conclusion.
I really
so
shouldn't
fast.
say that because because I mean, I thought the Rhino was cool.
The Rhino was cool. I like that they
Rhino was
used
cool.
Paul Giovanni already.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
he's pretty awesome.
they just cut that off really quick too.
But the problem is when I saw the Goblin was like, all right, you're a little bit better than Junior Goblin in the third Spider-Man movie.
So me and my wife talked about that.
A little
She didn't
bit.
like that guy. Like I didn't like James Franco playing the Goblin.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I like this kid better.
This kid was better.
But then he didn't get enough. I think it's because they didn't give him enough screen time for us to like, oh, this guy sucks.
Yeah, they didn't build him up. They didn't let him build up right. I mean, I did like him, especially when he begged Electro to help him.
Yes,
that was a good scene when he kept going, "Yeah, I need you. You gotta help me. You gotta help me." But because he's desperate and stuff, and that's okay. But it's just they're going too close because they keep going to go get all these powers like they're nothing. I mean, I understand to go get the Goblin glider and stuff. That makes sense. And he was a better character, but he does still kind of remind me of the Venom in Spider-Man 3. It's kind of like take Venom and mix him with the Junior Goblin at the Spider-Man 3. It was like, y'all just needed to put a little bit more work into it.
Yeah, it needed more work because the only time was like, oh, it was you the whole time. It's not Spider-Man saying, yo, it's you saying, no. Then he hold a big grudge just from that, you know?
Yeah.
I wish that blood should have killed him. You had it this whole time, and then he turned crazy.
Yeah, he goes straight turns crazy like we knew.
No, I didn't even think about this until
here's the thing, though. But the battle was pretty good. Well,
the battle didn't last very long.
The battle didn't last very long, and probably I didn't need it. Didn't need to last too long. You don't need too much action because you can overdo the action. Because they did that in the third one too much instead of building up characters. But the thing is, Gwen Stacy, when she dies.
Did you like?
I wondered if she was actually gonna get killed because she falls. They play with you the whole movie, and then when she starts to fall that last time, I'm sitting there thinking, it would be okay if he actually saves her and she makes it the next movie because I'm like, because if you end here, this gonna be horrible. It's gonna be devastating.
It was devastating though.
And it did. She gets killed. But they did pick it up. But they did end it right because she dies. He stands around for a while and then he comes back.
Yeah.
If they would have ended it right there, I would have been like, I could understand why nobody. I wouldn't have been mad, but I would have been like, I don't understand why nobody wants to come see this movie then.
Oh, because they
you can't end a movie. Yeah, you can't. Well, it's not. They had to. You knew that. I mean, anybody who's a Spider-Man fan knew this was coming.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the thing is, they made her so likable through this movie. Because she's the one that picks him up.
But they did it correctly though, because he was
killed
by the Green Goblin in this one, which is great.
Well, it was from a fall too. He saved her. He caught her too late.
So now watching this part, right? Do you understand why in No Way Home when Andrew Garfield saves MJ, that was a much bigger impact, and that's why when
I have to go watch it again.
So okay, let me tell you right now. So in No Way Home, right? There's a part where MJ.
Yes,
falls,
I know.
And then he catches her, right?
We shouldn't. We ain't gonna mess with this.
Hey, this is a spoiler, okay?
No, I saw the movie.
Okay.
For God's sake.
Okay.
But I got to go revisit it in order to talk about it. I mean, we're not just going to talk about it because it didn't mean crap to me when I saw it the first time.
Yeah, that's why I figured too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it probably won't be just the second to me when we could probably get to talk about it.
Okay.
But you better remember that you want to talk about that.
I do. I will.
Because you remember this.
Because that's why it hit me so hard in that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing because you saw this.
Yep.
But see, I didn't see it, so to me it was like, oh. Because I don't like Andrew Garfield, so he couldn't have done anything to make me like him in that movie. Now you're right. Maybe if I was to go back and watch it, I'll probably like crying and be like, "Oh, that was right."
Yeah, it makes so much more sense. Like, that's why I feel like, Kevin Feige fixed everything.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I gotta watch it again. I mean, it's still out there. I gotta go see it.
Come on,
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna let you have it.
I'm so glad they didn't use this Goblin in the.
You need a shirt. You just need to get you a shirt that says Kevin Feige.
I'm trying to make that Kevin Feige shirt that says "In Kevin Feige I trust." I'm still trying to decide it.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have to make one for you.
In Kevin Feige I trust.
Anyways, so yeah, the movie was good. It's just I could see it was slowly going off track.
I still like it. Bounce off between Electro and Harry Osborn.
But since we talked about it, I'm going to go ahead and just do this.
Okay.
I liked it better than the second Spider-Man movie.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Yep, sure did.
I think a lot of the movies, right? You like it better than the second the Octo Octavius one.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think the second movie should have been better than it was. Because I mean, I don't think they built up Octavius as well. He's just kind of there. I mean, the guy's a good actor. It's just like they didn't really give him much.
I want to point out, like,
he's the only other villain. Yeah, he's only because we spent too much time between, Peter Parker and Mary Jane fighting.
Well, I feel like the older I get, like from based on your point, Spider-Man 2 feels like it's going to be more and more distant from me. Yeah. I mean, it made me feel good at the time that I watched it.
Yeah, and I know people at the time watched liked it too, but it's like and I liked it because I watched it quite a few times, but I never liked it as good as the first one. But as time goes on, I like it least and least because it just seems like it's filler. They're just like, oh, we got to make a Spider-Man movie. Let's do Doc Ock, and maybe the third one will be better.
Which is weird because Spider-Man 2, there's only one villain. They didn't have to focus there. Like the character development was there. Everything that you wanted.
Yeah, they focused too much on the fights and stuff between him and Mary Jane. Way too much. You needed it. Because, I mean, like in this movie, you got to think Stacy, Gwen and Spider-Man, they fought in this one. We don't love each other. They don't love each other. But
they did the chemistry.
But they did. And it went together and it wasn't annoying. It wasn't horrible. And you weren't going, how stupid are you, Peter? I mean, you're sort of stupid, but you weren't like in the first one where it's like, man, you're just cruel, dude. So straight up cruel.
Like they actually talked about the spider can heal itself, right? But then they showed that Peter got sick in this movie. Yeah, he had to go to the convenience store to get cold medicine. That's weird. And then in the movie, they show you like, oh, this spider can heal itself. But then it contradicts what you had earlier.
Exactly. Spider-Man is supposed to have super strength. He probably healed a little bit faster, but he wasn't Wolverine, dude.
Oh, so I watched
him with my sons, like he was Wolverine.
Ethan asked me like, hey, Spider-Man can heal himself. Well, let me tell you something. Spider-Man can heal himself. That's why he can get shot. That's why he gets stabbed, right? He will heal. He just doesn't heal as fast as Wolverine or Deadpool. Yeah. That's a different kind of healing.
Yeah, he's not going to be shooting bullets out.
Yeah, like Captain America and Hulk, they will heal too, just not fast. Just faster than you and I.
Let me just go over. Yeah, just like this. He's gonna heal the same way me and you do.
Yeah,
it's maybe just a little bit
faster,
but not that much faster.
But not that faster. Yeah, but they'll heal.
But again, we could just go ahead and say the Osborn science was off on that too. Maybe they made a mistake.
They could, yeah.
Because obviously they can make a mistake. They're the people who made the Green Goblin and the Lizard. So, yes, they make lots of mistakes.
Yeah, Green Goblin, the Lizard, even Electro. Electro was created at Oscorp.
Yeah, Electro was, and he was crazy. But see, he was already a tortured person anyways.
Yeah, I did like Jamie Foxx in this a lot.
Well, yeah, I liked the way it's going. I wish they would have gave a little bit more to it.
I just didn't like that. You know what's really cool? Or not cool at the same time. They never explain why he's blue. They just fall and just, I guess electricity is blue, and that's why he's blue.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do because they're probably thinking because this is a different, way different Electro from the comics.
For in any Electro
that
I see.
Yeah, this is different because he can just kind of manifest. To me, he's more like Sandman. They gave him more like a Sandman first, because he turned to electricity, then he turns to a human form. But the thing is, when you're looking at him, you're looking at veins in a way. Oh, and veins are naturally blue and such.
Oh, so that's the part that got enhanced.
Yeah,
by electricity.
Because I mean, in a way, you see it is. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's veins, but he looks every time he forms up, it's like by your circulatory system, which does use electricity.
The first time I seen him and Jamie Foxx in the trailer, right? He immediately reminded me of Dr. Manhattan from.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah.
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 It's like almost the same power, but like it's not electricity.
The thing is, though, if I ever see another Electro, maybe I'd like to go back to a different Electro.
What is the another Electro?
More like the original. Well, no, original in the comic book.
In the comic books, okay.
Yeah, this one was completely different, but I was cool with it. But like I said, he was more like Sandman because he could just compare. He almost was like Sandman. He is the Sandman of this movie.
And of course, for a guy like Electro, right? Unless you're wearing like a scuba suit, he's gonna kill everything you touch.
Yeah, he's gonna
everything. I feel like this is a very powerful villain that you could just shoot him down with a garden hose because the water,
Yeah, the water. Yeah, I'm like, why would you put water? I don't know about you. I was always taught water and electricity do not mix.
Yeah, it does not. But like, I think it's like a whole flood of water to ground him down.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that works.
Of course, like oceans get struck by light and it doesn't kill everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't kill everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's because there's too much water.
It reduces. Yeah, it spreads out the charge.
Yeah, spread out the charge.
Because I don't. Yeah.
I understood that part, but like, I guess it depends on. We don't know how powerful Electro, especially in the beginning when they fight at Times Square.
Yeah, well, plus he doesn't know his powers.
No, yep.
Eventually he gets all his powers because they do all these experiments on him, and they basically make him more powerful, and he learns how to use it.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Yep. They didn't even know.
And of course, one of the villains in this movie is actually one of the guys that sits on the board of directors at Oscorp.
Really?
Well, no, he's not a super villain. He's just a villain in the movie. Remember that guy that didn't want to share all the stuff with Osborn?
Oh, yeah, the actor.
Second. Yeah, well, he's kind of a villain in a way because he kind of helped create him. He made him desperate enough to make him a villain.
Yeah, I didn't like that part where like there's no investigation. Hey, what we say goes, goodbye, see you later, kick him out. Like what?
Adios. Yeah.
If I was Harry Osborn, right, I already did that awesome move, by the way, when he's like, hey, what's your name? Felicia? From now on, everybody at this table works Felicia. Because Felicia works for me. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, here's the funny thing.
I would have taken all the access away to like, hey, you were at level 11, right? Now you're at level 2.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, if that was board of directors and stuff, you can't just fire board of directors, and you can't.
Yeah, to vote. Yeah, it'd be the vote thing.
Yeah, if they were all shareholders, then you can't really do nothing
because you have to buy their share.
Yeah, you got to do something.
But it's just like a comic book logic right here.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, this is Batman logic. But anyway,
yeah, that's why I talk about logic. Like you can't just bust in here and say I did all this stuff without proof, and then just kick me out. Like that's exactly what just happened. They just kicked him out. And another board of director. What you just said, like they shouldn't be able to do that. They had to wait for him to resign to sell his share. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah, it depends on how much the company actually owns. Usually, people that own companies or got their names of companies don't own very much of the company, anyways.
Well, I'm thinking Osborn probably owned majority of the stakes anyway, but then they don't tell you this, so we don't know.
Yeah, but somebody else can easily get a majority over you. So
yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to think you're dividing it up between thousands of people.
I would have liked that board meeting. Like, it's Mr. Osborn. We're not friends.
Yeah, we're not friends. I do like that. That's a good line.
That was really good. I like that kid playing better than James Franco.
Yeah, I'd say he's better than James Franco. Well, for this deal.
For this deal, yep.
I mean, it would have been better if they would have let him build up. If they would have had another movie and they built up over
just for Harry, right? Yeah, exactly.
It would have been better.
So this is the Spider-Man 3 of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Because see, if they would have introduced, it would have made more sense to introduce Harry in the first one, or at least something of it.
Just like a little bit of it, like, hey, I got
instead of him just showing up. Because it's like, so
they want you to do that from the lines, though.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because it's like Peter never acts like he never knew anything about Oscorp in the first one. He just shows up there one day. Oh, this is all new to me. And then it's like, well, but you've been the best friend with the owner of Oscorp this whole time.
Yeah, but then
isn't that kind of weird?
When they're young, you don't go to these things like that, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, it's like your dad works for Oscorp. All this stuff is all together. Everything is connected to Oscorp. One to go deal.
It's kind of like the Tobey Maguire.
But the real world doesn't really.
It's like the
work
Tobey
like
Maguire like that too.
Yeah,
he's been friends with Harry, and then that was the first time they ever been to that where Harry's dad works.
No, you got to remember, though, in the first Spider-Man, that spider that bit him wasn't Oscorp's.
It wasn't Oscorp.
No, that wasn't Oscorp.
But weren't they at Oscorp?
No. In the first movie, in the first Spider-Man movie, where him and Harry go to that place to see the spider, that was
a different deal.
That was a whole different company. The whole Oscorp, as far as I remember, I think they eventually probably added it, but Oscorp didn't own that spider stuff. He had nothing to do with Oscorp.
Oh, that's
they just connected it. They just connected together for the Amazing
Spider-Man. So Oscorp that did everything. They created Spider-Man. They created all the villains. It's the whole package.
Yeah, it's basically Oscorp is Sony.
It's basically Oscorp, the universe of Oscorp, not universe of Spider-Man.
It is Oscorp is Sony. They already know the story.
OCU.
They already know the story.
Or COU, Cinematic of Oscorp Universe.
It's like they already knew that they were going to get a kid bit by a spider, and they're already going to make villains just for him.
Yeah, that's so, the way it is.
Like I said,
it's a subway. I'm just going to make villains just for you.
Yep, just for you. This is the way it is. Nobody else. So basically, there is no Iron Man in Avengers or anybody in this universe.
In this universe, because it's owned by Oscorp.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
If there's going to be an Iron Man, it's going to be made by Oscorp. They probably have a little room. It's got the Avengers.
We just didn't see that scene where, like, the Rhino suit,
we didn't see
the Iron Man suit.
Exactly. We didn't see the floor that houses all the hero suits that they've already made up.
Oh man, that's right. You know what? They didn't even have a suit for Electro, but then they didn't even know they were going to make Electro.
Yeah,
just like they didn't know they were going to make Spider-Man.
You're not supposed to know you're going to have villains. You're not supposed to have stuff already to make villains. But the problem is they already have stuff to make all the villains, so I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
I thought those things were just like military. You know what? They never tied that in. Like they were pharmaceutical company, right? Where Osborn wanted to head towards the, I guess, military contracts with the spider, and maybe that's why they house all that stuff.
Who knows? Because you're right, they're pharmaceutical, medical stuff, and all of a sudden they just happen to have a military stuff in their deal, which I'm thinking. But Doc Ock's stuff, it wasn't supposed to be for military use ever.
No,
but hey, they got his stuff already in there. There's not even a Doc Ock yet.
Just to get ready. There's a lot of scientists. We haven't been able to get in touch with all of them. I mean, like on weird. This one, they didn't even talk about another scientist. They were just talking about Dr. Connors, trying to make everybody into lizards. This was probably funny.
The thing is, the sad thing to me though is, they show you all that stuff in those tubes. We come in there, it's got all the villains sitting there. It's supposed to make the audience watching the movie go, "Oh yeah, I can't wait for the next movies." The problem is, I see it also. The first thing I saw was, "Man, you ruined this crap."
Yeah, it's very lame. I mean, when I saw it the second or the whatever this time around, and I'm like, I didn't even think about Sony effing it up like you graciously put it. They all messing this up just because they're trying to catch up to Marvel. Yeah, because all they had was Spider-Man. They didn't have another superhero in it. It's not like they could team up with Daredevil or the Punisher, and they can't. Unless it's Tom Holland Spider-Man working with Sony, working with Disney.
Yeah. So.
Otherwise, they got nothing. So they were trying to make their own Spider-Verse thing, which now they're trying to do animation.
We keep saying that. They were trying to make their own Spider-Verse. They were trying to make their own MCU.
Yeah.
Without the MCU characters. That's the problem.
SCU is Spider-Man Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that they were digging. I bet you they were digging, had their lawyers, and they were digging for.
They were the Harry Osborn of themselves.
Because that's the thing is, they were so desperate, but they were going to turn Spider-Man villains into heroes, just to have a whole universe full of heroes.
Yeah.
So you would have had like you probably would have had the Avengers in the Sony universe, and the Avengers in the Sony universe is Spider-Man and all his villains fighting more villains. There would have been Spider-Man, Venom,
Black Cat, and then Morbius depends
Morbius
on how this works.
fighting Doc Ock,
So
Goblin.
they're the different Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that would have been dumb.
The differential Four, I don't know.
Then we'll watch somebody watch our show, and then Sony goes, "That's a great idea.
What
We are
the
going to
heck
make
is
we are going to make a superhero team. It's called the Spider Team,
The Spider Team. Oh my God, this is so lame.
and it's going to be, and the Spider Team's going to be exactly like it is. It's into the Mirrorverse or whatever it is.
Yeah, and like
Because remember, he has a Spider Team, and it's got the Ham, Spider Ham, and all
they
that.
have the Kingpin, and then
Well, they can't do Kingpin though. MCU now. Sony lost that one. And
so
it wasn't ever Sony's
Into the Spider-Verse?
Kingpin.
Kingpin was the main villain, isn't it?
I bet you they got permission.
Well, that's so weird because Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain. No, you're not. You're
but
right.
But he's actually more Daredevil, and that was Foxx.
Wow.
There may be a deal like, okay, maybe they have a deal where they can use him because for example, Universal owns the rights to the Hulk and Namor.
Yep.
The MCU can use those characters, but they can never make a standalone
movie.
But as long as they show up in the movie with other characters, it's okay. So MCU can use Namor all they want, as long as he's a villain or another character with somebody else. But he can never have a standalone movie if he has a standalone movie, they have to get permission.
Oh.
The thing is, Kingpin.
So the same thing with the Kingpin.
He was a villain with the other villains, so they may can use him. But again, it may have been just as easy as this. They go, "Hey, Marvel, can we use Kingpin?" And they go, "Oh yeah, since you're letting us use Spider-Man, go ahead."
Oh, I need a lawyer to explain this to me. There's got to be a lawyer on YouTube somewhere explaining all this.
I'm sure all their lawyers have to have lawyers to explain it to their lawyers.
Yeah, the lawyers like, "What's happening here?"
Yeah.
Hey, maybe one day I'll buy Sony and just give it all up and then sell Sony. I have fantasies about that.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I thought,
did you?
Sony? Yeah, I thought, but the thing is, here's the problem. I thought, if I bought Sony, would I give it to Marvel? No, I would charge them a good fee to let them use Spider-Man.
Oh, but then I won't do it. Yeah, as much as they want.
Yeah, I'd be like, that'd be dumb. Just give it to them. They got enough.
No, but that's different. I don't think that way. To where I just want Sony to fail, and that's it. That's all I care for.
Yeah, but if you buy it, you don't want them to fail. You want because there goes all your money.
I do. Because some men just want to see their world.
All right, Elon Musk. You're the only person I know to buy a company. Yeah, because he bought Twitter, and now he's just ruining it.
Well, I don't know if that's his intention though, but my intention is
probably not. But I
thought you were going to call me the Joker from the Dark Knight because I'm just here to see the world burn. Hey, I don't care.
Hey, that would be too generous.
Whatever.
You think it too highly
Elon Musk didn't fix my situation. Sony does. I mean, Heath Ledger does the Joker. I'll just buy it just to see this burn. I don't care. I'll put this crap right into the ground.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I know you would really burn.
I would really burn Sony out.
You would burn a mountain full of money.
That's right. I don't care.
I would.
I have my agenda,
I'd use that
and
money.
I'm following my agenda. I'm not a sellout. All right. I'm here to burn Sony down, and
let me
that's
tell you
it.
What. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, tell me what.
A lot of sellouts are dummies. Non-sellouts are dummies.
I would destroy
you gotta be
everything.
Smart about it.
I would destroy all their camera line. I would destroy their stupid format that they use the stupid PlayStation. PlayStation is gone, as you know it. Sorry, bye. See you later. No more PlayStation.
Okay. All right, supervillain.
Well, I'm so.
Okay, supervillains. Calm down. That's a lot of money. Man, your family's gonna be broke just so you can get your revenge. That's just horrible.
Pretty much. If that's the last thing I do.
Hey,
money doesn't mean everything, okay?
Hey, exactly. That's what all supervillains
I'm speaking like the Joker. I'm just burning my half. Now, the things I want is cheap, right? Like dynamite.
No, you're not talking like the Joker. You're more like Dr. Doom or the Mandarin, whatever, the Mandarin.
Yeah, just want to see the burn.
I
just want to see Sony burn.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's get back to Spider-Man. So
whatever, Thanos. Yes, Thanos Chew.
Oh, Thanos Chew. No, just Thanos. I can start wearing purple now because this is just about what I want. Wow, I'm just fantasizing what other stuff I could destroy as Sony. What else do they own over there that I don't like? Probably a lot.
Well, I like Ghostbusters. I don't know why you gotta go ruin that.
Ghostbusters can stay.
Okay, thank
Because
you.
I didn't say like I'm gonna destroy all the movie franchises. Like Ghostbusters can stay. I'll probably just sell it to somebody else so they can do a better job. Sell that to Sony too.
Yeah, sell it.
I mean, sell it to Disney too.
No, sell it to somebody else better. Oh, who else is left?
Paramount is left.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sometimes they got a winner.
And
when's the last time Universal made a movie that was
and
good?
maybe Amazon. I don't know. I don't know how that's going well with the MGM.
Oh, that's the MGM.
Stuff,
yeah. Who knows?
So I don't know.
Oh well. Well, what movie were we talking about before we went to?
You know what? Let's talk about
Fantasyland?
Aunt May having a bigger part. I really like that speech when Peter's trying to find out more about his father because that's been bothering him because he lost a Gwen, so he has no time to focus, right? Like,
Yeah.
So that's why he's like, maybe trying to find out more about my father, and I really like the speech between May Parker and about that, like, I didn't want you to think about your perfect version of your father, right? And I don't want to hurt you that way because I don't want to tell you the truth about him because you're my boy. That made me choked up a little bit because like she also lost they both lost Ben, right? So they all have each other, and she's right. Like, because they have no idea why the father left, and even in the speech, right? Hey, by me doing this, everybody's going to think I'm the monster, and then this movie actually gave a very good explanation, which the writing was pretty good on Richard Parker's part.
Yeah.
Like how they have to leave, but like the mother, she was like pushed back to the back burner actor, like you said, the background.
Oh yeah,
character.
she got shot.
She's the Spider-Man 3 Gwen Stacy of even worse.
Well, you got to think really the parents really were never a big part of the Spider-Man story. Anyway.
No, but they tried to.
In this one. They're just something they just got invented later on for another story and then disappeared again because they were spies, by the way.
Yeah. So. Well, I know because I have that issue.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the other thing I like is Aunt May wouldn't let Peter do the laundry because
I like that. I like that. I did like that.
I was watching the American flag.
Well, she was trying to hide that she was going to be a nurse from him.
Too.
She didn't want him to see her laundry. Yeah, she didn't want him to see her laundry.
His layup, exactly.
And he doesn't want her to see his laundry because he wants to watch his Spider-Man suit. Sheriff. Yeah, like I don't want you washing my Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, that was really good. Aunt May she had a lot more scene in this one.
Like, she had a lot more deals.
Even though not too much, it was the right amount that she needed. She was needed in.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good movie, but I mean, because it only had that few parts that brought you down, and really they weren't that big, so that's why I could easily say, "Oh, this one's better than Spider-Man 2."
This one is better than Spider-Man 2. It's hard for me to debate. Yeah, for you.
Well, it's always going to be hard because you may watch it again and go, "Oh, never mind."
Well, you know what? Like, if I watch this again, right, the Tom Holland Spider-Mans are the best.
Tom Holland, I'm going with Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Homecoming is
because
better than this one and Spider-Man 2.
Because the villains are still way better. The best villains you'll find in Holland Spider-Mans.
Yeah,
I still think because they actually built them out a lot better.
The first time I saw Michael Keaton, right, dude, it blew my mind. So. This is what Sinister is, okay? Yeah. Then you see Mysterio, the way he did it, like, it blew my mind to, like, that's exactly how you do Mysterio correctly.
Yes. And
the illusion is so great.
See, but I hope they didn't put a curse on the Goblin, because they've already tried to do the Goblin several times, and it's just...
Yep. They just have Goblin to bring the multiverse saga into MCU, and now it explains better, like, hey, this is how the Spider-Man can coexist, and I like that too. So everything with Tom Holland is so great so far, and the way they carry it, I had never seen a version of Spider-Man like that before.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping though Holland stays around long enough they can actually build a Sinister Six
for him.
Because I don't want for him, not using the alternates.
Yeah.
Because the alternates, they're not as good as the ones that exist in the MCU. Because Goblin, Lizard, any of them, none of them are near as good as the Vulture or Mysterio. And I hope Mysterio's not dead, because he was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's dead, man. If he played that many fake outs, he's got to still be alive.
He's just hiding. He's just waiting for the
Because I
Vulture
mean,
to
come on,
recruit him.
because he had everybody fooled several times throughout that entire movie.
Oh, everybody was fooled. That's
So
why
I'm
Mysterio
thinking
was so good in
that's
this
why
one.
that's why I'm thinking at the end of the movie, we're still fooled.
Because when I told Heather, like, hey, Mysterio didn't look this cool in the comic books, just like Namor, like, oh my God, they Black Panther did a really great job showing Namor because he didn't look this cool, not even half how cool he looked in Black Panther 2, not even half.
I don't know. It depends on the comic books you read. There was some comics where
It's,
Namor was pretty cool.
I mean, no, Namor is cool, right? Like,
Yeah.
but when you see him in
Oh,
action,
okay.
like
Okay,
live
understood.
action, is like, yeah, this is how I totally imagine it. Like, you can't look at this way in the comic books, they don't show it, they don't
Yeah.
justify how he moves, okay? Even Cody said, like, oh, that Namor character is cool. Like, well, then you should not go back to read the comics.
Please don't ever
You do
don't ruin it
not.
for you. Yeah.
Just Google the image of Namor. Dude, I have a comic book card I can show you. He didn't look
Yeah.
this cool.
Yeah.
And then the first thing Cody's going to ask is like, why is he white?
Well, the next thing he's gonna ask him is why is he wearing guild underwear? Green guild underwear.
But let's go back to this Spider-Man.
All right, let's go back to this.
So they probably, I was looking at the Wikipedia here, right? It shows that the international title for Spider-Man 2 is called The Rise of Electro. They didn't say that.
I think that was only for Germany.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it internationally titled?
Yeah, it's only for Germany. Oh, by the way, they had a scene they cut out. They also were going to introduce Mary Jane Parker in this one.
What?
Yeah, Shane, was it Shailene Woodley or whatever her name is?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, what's that movie? You ever heard that movie called Divergent?
Yes, but I never seen it.
Okay, I never either.
Oh, the female in it.
The actress that's going to play that.
Oh, you're right. Shailene Woodley was cast as Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, and they filmed some stuff and they cut it out.
They cut it out. Oh,
so they could have showed it because the thing is, like in the comic book, they could have done that. Could have been Aunt May try to set him up with somebody else to get his mind off
of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, and then she could have showed up in the next movies.
Oh,
that would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, but like you said, they already dig their own. Like Sony already dig their own grave with this Spider-Man too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? They probably realized that, and then that's why they went with Sony to put Spider-Man in Civil War. Like, hey, you know what?
That's why they went with Disney.
That's why with Disney. Like, hey, we already got one foot in the grave. Let's see what happens with this Sony thing. It can't be worse than what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, I bet you they're thinking they go, we'll just go with Disney and steal their tricks. Yeah. But after a while, they're probably like, you know what? Just let them do it.
I really don't like Across the Spider-Verse. It went from like, hey, the first Into the Spider-Verse, I know I'm going again, but we're talking about Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
It went from 6 to 8 Spider-Man to like, dude, that's 300 of them in this movie. Like, come on, no.
You can overdo a multiverse really easy.
So they were trying to copy Disney, and then it didn't work out. They tried to do their own Spider-Verse. Like, they
tried to build their own.
I like Miguel.
They tried to
in Spider-Man 2099, but I feel like they didn't do this right.
Yeah, well, they tried to do the end game with nothing but Spider-Man.
They all trying to do end game with nothing but Spider-Man.
I mean, yeah, it's like, oh, we're gonna make the whole Avengers team, but everyone was gonna be a Spider-Man.
It makes me like, I need to see Beyond the Spider-Verse because they did it like the Back to the Future 2 thing. They cut the movie in the middle, like right there. I guess they're bringing them back somehow because Mission Impossible is doing that too. I haven't seen Mission Impossible, but they say Dead Awakening Part 1. When I see this Spider-Man, it didn't say Part 1. It just says to be continued. And I'm like, man, this movie's not over yet.
Oh, that's horrible. I hate when they do that crap too.
Yeah, like there's not enough time left for resolution for this movie.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is when you don't like the first part of it anyways. It's like, so you're going to make a second part to something that wasn't good? Well, why?
Kind of like The Matrix. Is there any movie that... Oh, Empire Strikes Back. This is the only one that did it right. But they didn't do it like the way in Back to the Future Part 2. They didn't do it like across the universe. And since I haven't seen Mission Impossible... So you going into the movie knows that after you watch this movie, it's not going to be resolved.
Yeah, well... Yeah, we didn't know that because you remember we watched Dune too.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like, oh,
it didn't get resolved, so we have to.
And here's the sad thing: is now when we watch the second part, it's not going to get resolved because now they're going to make a third part.
Oh, don't say that, sir.
I'm sorry, but see, that's the problem. See, the thing is, the studios think their test audiences are so good. I'm like, why don't y'all just go back to the good old days when y'all made a movie
And then just
and
show it,
which,
right?
yeah, and then show it instead of going, oh, test audience says we should split the movie twice. Because I don't know who your test audience are, but usually when we get test audiences, that's the sucky parts.
I want to say the test audience is probably like the majority who does not know about the story. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
well,
Because they want to advertise to majority of the people out there that's not familiar with the work of doing or
yeah,
whatever it
I'm
is
not
they
sure
made.
how the test audience. I think it's just like fans. They find some people, hey, you want to go see this movie, and then they don't know what they're going to see, and they get to see it, and then they get them a survey. But the problem is, they're so happy they got in there to see the movie for free, they're going to say all kinds of crap.
That's interesting. I wonder how it can be a test audience.
Well, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and they come up to you, go, hey, Lamb,
Oh,
could you come? You want to come in and see
watch
it? We
this
got a
movie.
movie
Yeah,
showing.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll be like, what movie is it? Oh, well, you go in there and you'll
You'll
see it, and
find.
then
Yep.
after the end, we'll give you a questionnaire and you fill it out.
That happened to me and Cody. Remember when we worked at Lowe's? I worked with that guy who always get free tickets because his aunt or whoever, one of his cousin worked at the thing, right? So
Yeah.
one time we got a free ticket and they didn't tell us what movie it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just by Warner Brothers. And then
Did you fill out the?
yeah,
Did
they
they
had
give
you
you a
fill out our
questionnaire?
card. Yep, they had you fill out a questionnaire.
And you saw it before the movie was out, right?
I saw a lot of
Saw a
movie
movie.
before it was out.
Okay, see that's it. You were a test audience already.
Yeah, it was really cool when like some of the movies
So
that you
so
know
you
what
shouldn't
you're gonna
ask me.
see.
Yeah, so you don't have to ask me.
But then it's because I knew that guy. Like I never been to a
Yeah.
situation where you just walk by the movie theater like, hey, we're gonna show this movie, like,
Well,
but I
I'm
can't
sure it
tell you what
depends.
it
I'm
is.
sure in Hollywood it happens that way,
Yeah,
where the studios are, because that's closer to home. And if
yeah.
people watching movies, most likely if you're there walking around the movie theater, you're a fan of movies anyway, so they want your opinion.
Uh I think the movie that me and
But
Cody
I
saw
think it's a
was
lot.
Malibu's Most Wanted. The one that they
Oh,
didn't
really?
tell us. Yeah, Malibu's Most Wanted. Yeah.
Well, see, you should watch Malibu's if you could remember that one. Then go watch Malibu's Most Wanted now and see how well it does.
Oh,
It doesn't even look like the movie you saw.
I think it did. I can't remember.
Because you might have got rid
It
of
was
some
actually pretty
lines.
funny when me and Cody saw it though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the test screening before the movies come out, like, yeah, the coworker was like always giving me tickets. It was so cool
That's
being
awesome.
able to see movies before it came out. I wish I would
Okay.
have seen this one and tell him like, dude, take Harry Osborn out the whole way. You could probably recut the movie without any Harry Osborn, and it would still be fine.
Yeah, well, it depends on what they gave you. If you're seeing it to be like a critic, or they're seeing if you're testing on to see if you like it, or if you're a test on to see what worked.
That's true.
Because some movies will have several lines, and they'll see if
Come on,
you're
like,
happy with the
did you like
lines or not.
how this one, like, how easy it is for Harry to figure out that, like, Glenn, no, that Peter Parker was Spider Man.
It's pretty quick. Yeah, it's
It
pretty
was pretty
easy.
quick. Like, there's no words. He just looked back and forth, like, oh,
Yeah, but in a
I
way,
got it now.
I think he kind of could have figured it out because he's really interested already. Because when he hears about
Mm-hmm.
Gwen, he's like, hmm. So you have a girlfriend named Gwen. So I thought he was gonna go try to steal her away from it. Because
Oh.
because he's a little interested, and then he sees her on the elevator. He's like, that's funny. There's some crap going on in my building. She's here. You're here.
Well, he
Hmm.
didn't know Peter was there.
But he already. I think he probably figured it out. Because I mean, come on, there's a big commotion and stuff. Didn't Peter come see him that day? Yeah, Peter came to see him that day.
Yeah, but then it's a big building.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
they
even put that
argued. But
together.
they also argued.
They did argue.
He probably doesn't know that he helped her, but he just happens to know that
Oh
she's
yeah,
there.
he just there. That's
She
it.
and all this stuff is going on. He's probably thinking, huh?
Man, he
What's
doesn't
the
know what's
unit?
going on.
But then he sees them together. He's like, huh? Why would she be hanging out with Spider Man?
Wasn't there access revolt at the same time when they were looking up Electro stuff? Well, he was looking at Electro stuff, and she was just trying to find Max
Yeah,
Dillon.
Max Dillon stuff. So,
How did we
hmm.
not talk about BJ Novak being in this movie?
Well, because I almost forgot he was in this movie.
He played Max's
Yeah, he played his
boss.
boss.
I
He
want
didn't
to
really
say
look like him that much.
no. He looked like them. He looks like Ryan.
Okay. Well,
Ryan.
the thing is, you're a bigger fan of him because see, I don't know him.
Yeah.
I
Because
didn't
he's a
watch.
writer. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
BJ
watch
Novak
the.
is a
Yeah,
writer.
I did not watch the TV show with him in it.
Yeah, you're right. But he was in Inglourious Bastards too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think he wrote another movie, but it was not that like huge distribution, but I haven't chance to see it yet.
Yeah.
He's a good writer. I mean, comedically.
Yeah. I'm gonna say okay, cool. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
follow
because The
him.
Office, yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch The Office. I haven't yet. Haven't got around to it. It's a lot to see.
There's also another. Was it a villain? Dr. Kafka.
Yeah, but I didn't. I mean, I wasn't all that amazed with all that stuff.
But you know what? They trying to cramp too much anyway. This is exactly what they're trying to do. Sony did not have the formula.
Yeah,
of Disney.
It's just too much. I'm like, so these people may turn into this person.
So this is the same problem. WB like it's too much.
Too much. We're gonna put too much of our universe.
Too much of the universe in one thing instead of like
you gotta slowly build it out.
It down, yeah.
They
don't want that though.
Yeah, I'm like, you only had 2 movies.
See, why don't they want that, Shane? That's how you answer that question. They don't want to slow it. They want to catch up already.
Because they didn't watch the formula Feige did over the years.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember, Feige had his name attached to a lot of crappy Marvel movies first.
Yeah, they have a lot of standalone first.
Yeah, they had a lot of crappy movies. You gotta see what works and what don't.
It feels like the Justice League movie was this Captain America Civil War movie where we quit the other team already.
You gotta also think though, you had one director and then your director leaves, you got another director who does something completely different.
Yep.
You got somebody building a universe, and all of a sudden they just hand it to somebody else.
They're trying to hurry it up. Yep.
That'd be like me building a little Lego house and just handing it to you. You don't know what I wanted to build, so you'll just start putting. I have a white little Lego building. You start putting red and yellow on.
Yeah, it's just what I think it looks good from. I'm not building Shane's vision. I'm building my vision.
You already said building your vision, sitting right on top of the foundation of mine.
Yeah.
A lot of people could go, I'm not living in that little Lego house.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how many I forgot how many. I think Andrew Garfield he signed up for 4 movies. You're right. It was supposed to be Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because when you said that, it's like he signed up for 4, but then I remember the talks was like, hey, you know what? Andrew's still contract for 2 more Spider-Man movies. Sony just haven't done anything. Because when they were making Venom, right, and then they talk about Tom Holland being Spider-Man, that left Andrew Garfield out, but then he's still contracted to do 2.
Oh. Is he still contracted to 2 or just 1 now?
I think it's still 2 when they
technically he already did another Spider-Man.
He did do another Spider-Man. That's right. That's very true. But I think that one might have been because Kevin Feige talked to these actors himself.
Yeah, he probably was like, hey, man.
Amy. Well, he did it with Amy together, but I don't know how that worked.
He's probably thinking, yeah, don't look at her. Look at me.
Okay? Yeah, look at me. So it's not important right now.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is why you haven't done your 3rd or 4th Spider-Man movie. Oh.
Oh, that's wrong.
I just thought of that. Oh. Look at me. Like, if you give it a few months, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman is going to say they love me and thank you to me. In a few months after No Way Home comes out. I'm making deals, man. And Amy Pascal, what did she do on all 3 Spider-Man? She told Tobey Maguire not to date the co-star, the love interest. She tells Andrew Garfield not to date the Emma Stone. She tells Tom Holland not to date whatever, and then they all did.
Wow.
I think they got it right because I don't think none of us should listen to Amy Pascal.
But maybe they should. Maybe that's the curse for all the movies. Well, not the last one.
The last one has been.
So basically, what you're telling me is the people that play Spider-Man don't listen to anybody.
Don't listen to Amy.
Yeah, don't. Maybe they should.
I don't know.
They probably should have.
Hey, James Horner was the soundtrack guy for the first one.
Really?
Hans Zimmer was doing this one.
Yeah, he did the second one. Yeah,
he did the second one. I'm surprised you don't like this much as much.
That was the first one?
No,
it's not as good even with a good soundtrack. It's not as good as the first one.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one.
And plus, I like James Horner because he did.
James Horner, yeah, too. James Horner is good.
Yes, he's good. He's one of the best.
I was trying to think of the fight scenes between Lizard and Electro versus Spider-Man. Which one was better? This one has the Electro had a lot of slow mo. Well, you know what? They both had a lot of slow mo on it.
Yeah, they had a slow mo just almost enough to make me sick or mad. But
oh, really?
Well, no, I was first with the first one. First one didn't have any problems. I did have a little problem with the slow motion for Electro when he electrocutes that thing with all those people standing on the steps.
Oh,
but I let it go. I was like, yeah, it does got to show you how quick Spider-Man is, so I'm okay with that.
So I don't. The other thing I want to ask you, you might not know, which is okay. The magnet thing. When Spider-Man was trying the battery, right? But I didn't understand the magnet thing. So the magnet can hold a bigger charge than a magnet. I mean, than a battery.
No.
Right? Is that what they're trying to say? I mean, like, I'm not explaining.
Well, I don't know either. I don't know.
No,
I didn't understand it completely either.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think they're using science, but I don't think they're using like real science.
Okay. So that way they could just get to the movie.
Basically, they wanted to change the. I don't know what they wanted to do. When I was listening to it and they started talking, I was like, blah 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 blah.
Because I like that he was using a YouTube video to find out like how to hold the electric charge for the Electro's thing. Because you
got to make something that's more like a capacitor.
Capacitor, yes.
But the fact is, I mean, maybe that's what they were talking about, a capacitor. I mean, it's not just a regular magnet, but it's like you can charge metal and then turn it into a magnet. You
could charge metal into a magnet. Oh, yeah. That's what they're trying to do with the car. They turn it into a magnet.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know either. Like,
I mean, it was a movie. It didn't really matter to me because I was like, whatever. If he's going to shoot a lot of electricity, if he's got a lot of electricity, I don't give a crap what you do. He's going to blow those things up. There's not like something he could put on himself that's going to stop
hold the charge. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, Spider-Man has a web shooter. So, I mean, if you can build a web shooter, I guess it's going to work.
That is true too.
Because I don't think anybody could build a web shooter.
No.
And of course, the web stuff doesn't exist. And he's got electricity going through all those little webs. I mean, that web stuff don't exist in the real world. So whatever they said, it's going to work in their universe.
Yes.
Even the science. I mean, come on. As far as I know, I ain't never seen anybody turn into a lizard yet or Electro yet. So
yeah. Which one would you pick? Would you want to change into the lizard or Electro?
Man, both of their lives seem like crap afterwards. I wouldn't want either one.
Which one? It feels like because you could shoot a lizard dead, like but then Electro, you can't use guns against Electro.
Well, yeah, they could probably get a big old capacitor and suck you into it and never let you out.
That's if they figure that out.
And then they'll just let it run down and you'll just dissipate.
Yeah, you get to that.
And that'd be the end of you. That would be the end of you. But the thing is that it doesn't look like it's a good life either way.
No, because you're blue.
But if somebody said you got to be something, I'd be Electro.
I'd rather be Electro.
Because it's a lizard. Come on, the lizard's life's not that good. You're a giant lizard.
Yeah, giant.
You can only go here and there, and Electro, you can like kind of disappear and just reappear.
Yeah, you get disappear and reappear.
The problem is, it can't be good for you because you can't eat no awesome stuff anymore.
Some stuff that you have to give up.
You have to give them a lot as either one of them.
Well, but if you're Electro, do you even need to eat?
You probably don't, but that's the whole joys of life, ain't it?
Yeah, the joys of life is eating.
You can't even get a girlfriend if you're Electro. You'd kill her. You'd electrocute her to death. I mean, you really couldn't do too much with anybody.
No.
I mean, Jaden Fox's character was already a loner, and he's already crazy. I mean, he didn't want to be a loner. He was just left alone because remember he celebrates his birthday by himself. Yeah. I mean, they were already miserable people. I mean, Kirk Connors, he spent all his time just wanting to grow the arm back. He's brilliant, could do anything he wanted, but he has a problem. He's got an arm. He's missing an arm, so that's all he wants. Get that back. So he has no life. And then he turns a lizard, and now he don't have a life.
Turns a lizard.
And then the other Jamie Foxx's character, he wants friends.
But you know what? On the lizard, right? He actually turned back to Kirk Connors if he doesn't inject himself.
Then he goes, but his life's still not good. He lives in that stupid prison thing.
But then they did blow up Electro.
He lives in Sony's version of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, Ravencroft. Dude, they're gonna bleed that dry, man. Because they have Ravencroft in Venom.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna overdo it.
Yeah, they're gonna bleed that dry because that's all they got. That's their milk and no butter. That's their milk, and then that's it. They
but
just
anyways, like I said, I would not want to be either one of the characters.
Yeah,
I would if I had to be a villain in the Spider-Man movie. I am going to be the Vulture, or Mysterio. Those guys
Mysterio,
are okay.
yeah.
Vulture or Mysterio, you'd be okay.
I can still eat.
You can still have a life, or somewhat of a life.
You can still have a life, yes.
Basically,
you want to be a human.
I don't want to be turned into some kind of weird creature. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be turned into a monster. No.
Yeah.
Because none of those guys can do anything. Because Electro has to stay around electricity the rest of forever, eternity. What good would that be?
Hey, you know what? We are around electricity a lot.
Well, he can't interact with any people though, really, because he'll electrocute and kill them.
Yeah, you got electrocute and kill them.
And the lizard guy, he's gonna eat people.
It's gonna eat people. You're gonna turn everybody into lizards. So it feels like I didn't talk about this in the first one, right? Like the Amazing Spider-Man 1. It feels like lizards. It feels like Magneto. He want to turn everybody into lizards, right? That's what Magneto want to do. He want to turn everybody into mutants, so that way they're all accepted.
Yeah, well, so most Marvel villains got the same ideas.
Yeah,
that's why you always have a Marvel villain team ups.
Yep, but they should.
Except unless you team up with Dr. Doom, because his idea is always better than yours, even though that was your idea.
In this one, though, like I guess Harry wasn't fast enough to marry with Electro after he turned crazy and put his glider suit on. He was going to meet up with Electro, and that's why he showed up after Electro blew up.
Well, you know what he's thinking. I didn't really like that guy anyways. Such a jerk.
And you know what? I feel like no, they did what happened. Like in Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer, they knock out Dr. Doom and they didn't show you what happened to him. But in this one, they arrested Harry Osborn and put him in Ravencroft.
Like they did everybody else.
Yeah, just like they did everybody else, and then they put in their team together. And then Paul Giamatti comes back as the Rhino.
Yeah.
And then that little kid that he stayed with the wind turbine dressed up as Spider-Man. And that was pretty good. That scene was pretty good when he comes back like, hey, what about I got this one. That was pretty good.
I've seen that scene before.
The Rhino thing. I think that it ended really well. I mean, they didn't have any cutscene that I seen.
Well, they ended right there, yeah. They ended it right there. It was okay.
Yep. And then that's the best that... The only villains that Andrew Garfield fought was the Lizard, Electro, a little bit of the Goblin, and then the Rhino. 4. Maguire had Green Goblin, Octavius, Sandman, Venom. 4.
Yeah.
So they were able to put 4 villains in 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, opposed to Tobey Maguire's 3. Yeah, this Sony was trying to put too much into this one already. They trying to set up the Spider-Man universe within this one alone. And then don't forget, Felicia showed up, but then she's not Black Cat yet.
Yeah, but she was.
You know what? That suit is probably in Oscorp too, however that is.
Yeah, it probably is. And as long as they don't push her out the window when she falls down and gets licked by cats and stuff.
That's
just the Black Cats. Oh wait, that was a different movie. Sorry.
Different company.
Hey, they're all the same. Corporate America.
You know what? Everything's gonna blend in the same. And but you still like this one better than the second one? Oh, I did like they did mention J. Jonah Jameson on this one.
Yes, and they didn't have him.
They didn't have him in there, but they did ask J.K. Simmons to play this role again.
Oh, did they?
Like, no, hold on. He expressed interest in revising this role.
Yeah, they didn't ask him because he would have took it. They said, what I read is they couldn't find anybody that was better than him, so they just left it open. But I'm like, they could just use him because he is J. James.
Yeah, J. Jonas. Just from the tone of the email when Peter sent him the picture, like, oh, I got you the picture you need. Wrong.
Yeah, wrong.
Just the email subject like wrong. You could hear his voice saying it. And that's why I love it. No Way Home. If they had J.K. Simmons in Amazing Spider-Man, all 3 Peters could be like, so this guy's the same no matter where we go.
Yeah, no matter where we go.
This guy's the same.
Yep, this guy is the universal
I
constant.
love that. I love that when they're like, if that guy would pay you fairly, he does pay me fairly. If it was 1961.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that this one doesn't have J. Jonah Jameson, but like I love it. Yeah. And I like
that's where they messed up, right? That's one of the
they have all these villains, but they didn't ask J.K.
It's one of the it's one of the characters they could have overdid.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can, and that's why Kevin Feige didn't try to replace him either.
Yeah,
he found the same actor. Like, no, I can't. Everybody loves this guy. Like when I saw him at the end of Far From Home, I freaking loved it. Like that's J. Jonah Jameson. There's nobody else.
Yes, there's nobody else.
And this is what happened when they listened to Amy Pascal. Amy Pascal said, like, no, we don't need to cast that guy. I think we have fine what we have going on here. Everybody's going to love our Spider-Man universe, and Disney can suck it. That's exactly what she said, okay? So on that, we're ending on that note, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.